Well, the weather is not the only thing that heats up during the summer months. Our grills do too, right? It is grilling season as we throw on our favorite steaks and burgers. But it's also important to remember to salt in a little safety. Here with some tips now is our good friend Barry Brickey with the Kingsport Fire Department. You like that?
I did. I'm going to use that. Salt in some safety.
I worked hard on that. But no, seriously, you do have to be careful. We showed the good video, but we can easily pull up grills that go wrong.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we always like to tell people to make sure as, you know, the grilling season kind of kicks off this weekend. Yeah. And you may have family over and friends over, so you want to be safe. And so checking those grills, making sure that there's not any grease buildup and things like that. Make sure if it's a gas grill that the hoses are in good shape, that you don't have any leaks. And you can, you know, use some soapy water, spray it on there and see if there's any leaks when you turn it on. If it is, turn it off, replace those pieces that need to be replaced. Okay. And then, you know, if you're using charcoal or something like that, once you get the charcoal going, don't add any more fluid to it. And so, you know, we don't want the fire to get outside of the grill, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, you know, we had an incident like when you're putting a bunch of meat on a grill at one time and that grease kind of gets in, it can get out of hand very quickly. We had some scary moments there.
It can, and a lot of times people are grilling on too high of a setting because once you start grilling, you'll have some fat come out of those meats, whatever you're cooking, and then you'll have flare-ups, and then if it's cooking really hot, you're going to lose a lot of the juices out of there, and it's going to build up in the bottom, and then next thing you know, you come out, if you've left it, hopefully you haven't left it, but you've got flames all over the place. You have to turn it off, and, you know, it could make a mess. What
about grill placement? Is that important?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, if you're outside, make sure you're not under trees, anything overhanging on the house, like a porch or a patio, something like that. Make sure it's got a good, clear way for the smoke and the things to rise. Also, make sure it's not too close to the siding or to anything that's flammable. And then you also want to think about if there's kids or if there's pets, make sure there's at least a 3-foot area around where kids and pets, it's kind of like a kid in a pet-free zone. That way everybody kind of stays safe.
Yeah, where were you 2 years ago when this happened? Right underneath this. I was like, yep, it's not looking good. So if your fire does get out of control, also important to know how to get that fire and bring that fire down.
Yes, one of the best ways you can do that, a lot of times people will have like a little spray bottle if you have flames starting to get up a little bit. If you do have a fire beginning inside that grill that's not supposed to be the one you're cooking with, shut it, turn off the gas, and then that way you can let it cool off a little bit. If it starts to spread out, make sure you have a fire extinguisher close by, and you don't want to really put a whole lot of water on a grease fire because it can actually flame up even worse. And so, yeah, if it's going really bad, then you need to use the fire extinguisher on it. But hopefully you're not going to do that. Hopefully you're well protected, watching everything, and even like wearing some oven mitts or something like that, and have some long tools. That way you don't get any burns on your hand or your arms, and that way you can have a great Memorial Day and a great celebration.
Brought to you by Barry Brickey from the Kingsport Fire Department. Always great to have you on. Really some great information. I know you respond to, I bet, some grill fires every year.
That happens. Now we would, you know, the fire department would love to come over if you're grilling out. But if it's an emergency, we'll come too.
We'll come too. We'll come a little faster. All right, there is that website for more information. You can check out other fire safety tips there. Barry, always great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for all you do.
Absolutely. Thank you.